What's going on, YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius video, and today we have a ton to talk about now. It's not all going to be good. We have FFBE Final Fantasy III coming out with Onion Knight. I'm going to talk about why this is probably going to be a giant skip for everybody out there, but give the perks for having Onion Knight Neovision, because there are some. And then we're going to talk about these rigged rates and Gumi and Square Enix rigging the rates in War of the Visions, and how that all went down and what's going on with that and more. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so perhaps the more, tantalizing information about some kind of rigged banners, that's going to be after I review everything in FFBE, so that's going to be towards the end of the video. I know you want to hear all about it, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. So first up, we are hit with Final Fantasy III. Don't give out hope for Kingdom Hearts this month. I know I've been preaching it. It was Fina and Daisy, and now it's Final Fantasy III. Listen, the other Kingdom Hearts game just came out last Friday. Maybe they're just giving us a break in between. This is a raid. I'm pretty sure Kingdom Hearts is like a King Mog event, so let's hope that it's next week. If it is not next week, I can no longer hold on to my thoughts that Kingdom Hearts will be coming out soon, and it may be delayed for a while. So I'm hoping that it's next week. That's what I'm going to hold out for. And that, again, everybody talks about that banner just being amazing, because it is, both in value, in just the STMRs, excuse me, and the Vision cards, but also the units themselves. So this week we are getting Final Fantasy III, and I think this is going to be a major skip for a lot of people, because Onion Knight, first off, I always like to talk about this, and I don't know if you guys enjoy it, but I do, the look of the unit. So Onion Knight is an amazing unit. Amazing looking unit, excuse me. They did a very good job. It just seems like sometimes they do a really crappy job with some of these units, and then other times, like Onion Knight here, and it might just be Onion Knight's design in general that really pushes itself to a Brave Shift type of form, right? Because he does transform into different jobs as a character himself, so you can see but his Onion Knight form even looks really awesome. But he does transform into his ninja form, and he looks awesome. Completely different looking unit when he does Brave Shift, which I wish a lot of units would do that more often. But it looks very stellar. So 10 out of 10, A+ look here on Onion Knight on the design. If we're talking about the unit itself, that is where we're going to see a little bit of problems. The unit can 85% break, so if you're still looking for an 85% breaker, which I don't think a lot of you guys should be missing, Onion Knight's going to be able to do that. The damage is pretty good here with Onion Knight. Has a lot of ramping abilities, so you can think of like Bart's back in the day. You gotta use these abilities that permanently ramp up unless you die and do some damage. But the problem, which is strange for Onion Knight and different from what we feel in FFBE, is his imperiling and imbuing is going to be really lackluster, non-existent. So you're going to have outside of that to make him work. But what is special about him? What's his niche? He is different than a lot of units. He's going to bring something to the table that nobody has before, and that is going to be in the form of accuracy buffs and accuracy debuffs, okay? So as we can read here with 5 lights, boost accuracy of physical attacks, cure blind, and remove stop for all allies. There is a boss coming out, like an Omega Trial, where this is going to be very important. I don't know if you guys remember fighting the Ghost, where, like, the Ghost would dodge your attacks randomly. I had to use my AC Clouds. We did a long stream trying to kill him, and you need accuracy and all this kind of stuff. And that was a big headache, right? I did not like the dodge mechanic or the evade mechanic on the boss to really just kind of be an annoyance and get in the way. Well, there's going to be an Omega Trial that is similar to that, and that's where Onion Knight boosting up everybody's accuracy will come in handy. It was turned out to be very, very good against that trial. You could also debuff the enemies, the Omega Trial's enemy accuracy, and you guys can start evading. It was very, very, very strong against that trial, but the problem was after that, it seemed like Gumi and Alim, Square Enix, they decided, wait a minute, this is way too strong, or we don't want to go this way. The accuracy buffs have not been a thing needed to be used in JP from then on, and then also every boss has seemed to have their own accuracy buff to counter, that have been released after this, to counter the Onion Knight accuracy down debuff that he would put on the enemy. So essentially, Onion Knight is very, very good against the Omega Trial, and then after that, Gumi and Square Enix were like, we're just gonna forget about that. That might have been a little bit too strong. So while pulling this unit will be very great for that one specific trial, it's gonna kind of fall off after that. At least what they've shown so far in the development in JP. Who knows what Global will bring? Obviously, we had that spooky ghost guy who we couldn't hit with attacks either. Looking at the Trust Mastery Award, we have Chosen by the Wind Crystal. We have boosting of magical and physical against Reapers. And then we also have True Dual Wield attached to a materia. Fantastic materia. Anytime you get double value in killers and True Dual Wield or True Double Hand, oh, it's beautiful. This is something I want, but the problem is I just don't think I'm going to be pulling on this banner, so it's going to be an off-banner pull for me when it comes to the Trust Mastery reward here. And then moving on to the Super Trust Mastery reward, we have Onion Sword Plus, Attack 188, Defense 22, Spirit 22, Activate Last Hope, Boost Fire, Wind, Watcher, and Earth Resist by 30%. Another great STMR. Honestly, this package right here, between the TMR and STMR, are very, very good. You get a nice giant attack sword with a lot of defense capabilities and elemental resist. And then you get a, again, killer with a True Dual Wield. It's fantastic. I do believe, like I said, this is a raid. So if we do get some of the Moogles for our little Onion Knight here to be able to, you know, put up his TMR from the raid, throw that into a Moogle Prism and get this TMR because it's very, very good. We'll talk about the vision card here in a minute. Moving on down, Dark Knight, Lunith, and people don't like it when I do this. I've read the comments. Well, some people don't care. And Onion Knight Refia, they are getting their NVAs. And, you know, people get really excited about their units. And I don't like to totally put down the units that I'm talking about. But I think for the most part, I hope people come to my videos to hear the truth, at least about these units and in what they are doing in comparison to the bigger NV units and the better NVA units. And both of these units, in my opinion, are just not going to be there. They're just not going to be there for a lot of people. I'm sorry for the fans of these units. I'm not saying they're not useful. Almost every character in this game can be used. I have a friend, Saiyan Knight, who literally uses Queen from the very beginning on every trial and wins because he puts his mind to work. He uses his special powers. He gets it done, right? And you can do that in this game. But these units are just not, for me, I'm not hyped. I don't think the general population or the general community in FFB are going to be hyped about these two units. Just want to let that be. And then we have Black Mage Arc. Finally, Arc getting a little bit of love here. Looking at the Super Trust Mastery reward and the Trust Mastery reward, Path of a Black Mage, boost magic by 30%, nullifies sleep, silence, and paralysis, and boost magic by 30% when equipped with a hat. It's okay, pretty good. 60% on a materia, along with some really nasty looking status element resist there is pretty good. Then we have Arc's Hat, Defense 14, Magic 64, Spirit 42, Activate Hidden Courage, Restore MP every turn, and boost LB gauge fill rate. Giant magic stat on this hat, along with some MP regenerations and nice defense capabilities. A very, very, very nice STMR as well. So this banner is kind of looking nice with these STMRs and TMRs, but the units themselves are just something you're not going to worry yourself too much about, except for that accuracy debuff and buff that Onion Knight has. And again, in the future, it kind of gets taken away from him. He gets kind of neutered there with that. So moving on, we are talking about the raid event, like I said, and if we do end up getting some nice TMR Moogles for Onion Knight, which I think we should, right? I don't see why we wouldn't, but every time I do that, Gumi and Square Enix have done something else and changed it, blah, blah. Get the TMR of Onion Knight if you can through a Moogle Prism. I think it's worth it to me, unless you end up pulling him or whatever, right? And having multiples of it don't seem that bad either for your entire squad. You're going to have bonuses in this raid. It's going to be a raid box summon like normal. We are going to be able to get another good weapon here, Attack 127 sword, giving you guys that Reaper killer again anytime. If you guys have played DV, you know how it is. Stacking these killers will have you perform better in any scenario. Killers are OP in this game. If you guys have been veterans of the game or you're new to the game, just understand that they're very, very good. And then we have to farm up all of these insignias here, which I still need to do a lot of. I know I have full energy here, guys. I'm just waking up. I got to do a lot more of that for the FFBE that just came out. Looking at the vision card here, again, the reason I don't like it is it's very based upon using a sword or katana in your kit. You don't have the attack 100. The percentages aren't that high on this. The thing that this card will provide to you that you may want to use it over something else, which I love, 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 love this art right here, is for the elemental resistances and the defensive capabilities. Let's say, you know, you get into a fight. It's not all about attack sometimes. Your EP's got to go down a little bit. And you do need to survive, so that's why you'd want to use this. But that's going to be a quick review on that. We are getting Scorn of the Two-Headed Dragon coming back at us again. Maybe put some even more angry eyes on him because he's returning again. And, you know, the Grand Helm plus now, always getting better, always getting stronger. This is a fantastic item used on a lot of tanks. But I find myself using, you know, hats or helms that have elemental resist nowadays, I guess. But in the future, I do believe we are going to need some physical tanks that can withstand things because of that whole accuracy buff that comes out later on down the road that enemies start using. So this is a great item for that, and a trial you guys can get your hands on. Moving on down, this just talks about the different login bonuses, how we're not getting the 50 or the better fragment numbers that I've talked about in the past that we need to be getting. I'm holding out for next week. Kingdom Hearts will bring the dungeon. Please bring the dungeon where we can farm these shards. Please bring a better number that you guys are giving out, because I do believe that already happened in JP, something around the FFBE banner and Kingdom Hearts banners, where they started handing out, I'm pretty sure for Sora and the Kingdom Hearts banner, they get out 50 of these. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, guys. You guys are JP players. You know a little bit better than I do. But I know eventually they did give those out, so we didn't have these random numbers. And I know we should have the dungeon already. Nobody can tell me I'm wrong about that, because I know we should have that daily dungeon where we could farm our shards up. But Fujimoto said it would be coming soon, TM. So we'll see when that happens there. All right, guys. And now for that juicy drama from the War of the Visions Japanese side of things here. And it could leak over into the global FFBE or global War of the Visions. You know, we're gonna have to find out here as we investigate. But essentially there was a summon in the JP version of the game where you guys would get all UR, and it was like an anniversary gift, supposed to be awesome, and things weren't exactly working as intended with the random number generator, which is like RNG. People call it RNG. It's like when the game is supposed to be providing you randomness, you know, to a certain extent, because random number generators are hard to get right, hard to get everything going correctly, because it's not always random. It's not as easy as rolling dice in real life. You know, these are computers, these are programs. But essentially 404, it was not found, and something went wrong. As we scroll down through these comments from Japanese players, you can see people pulling the exact same pull together when it comes to these URs. As you can see, we can see that we have Rob here at the end, same unit here, same unit here, same unit here, same unit here. Hey, what's going on here with these URs at the bottom? And this was something that happened a lot. As you scroll down through here, you can see the people talking about it down there. That is something that happened a lot. So the players got together and started learning that, hey, there's obviously something going on here, and they are rigging the rates. Obviously, this banner is rigged, and is giving us an outcome that is not obviously random. There's something going on. So within a day, the Japanese community has come together, figured out, got all this evidence. You know, it was like Gumi or Square Enix, what's going on? Or Alim. I can't remember if Alim makes War of the Visions in Japan, but I'm pretty sure Gumi works on all of it here for War of the Visions. And they immediately came out and was like, oh my God, yeah, that is totally wrong. Something's, again, they refer to it as a bug. It is bugged. We're going to fix it. We're refunding everything you guys spent on that banner. We're giving you a bunch of stuff for free. You know, you summon 10 URs for free. You know, refunds going out immediately. I mean, I'm talking, you know how long it takes Gumi to respond to something ever at Square Enix when it comes to these games? When it's, you know, the player detriment, it normally takes, you know, a long time to get compensated for these decisions to be made. They must have got this boardroom together immediately to get this thing out here, because obviously it's a huge mistake. But the problem with this is, guys, right? They're going to inform you about the details of the problem in the apology. They need to come out and give us a very strong reason as to why this hasn't been happening before. I don't think there's any evidence to show that it's been happening before. I don't think there's any evidence to show this is super malicious. However, I could be wrong, man. Like, this is the problem when it comes to trusting these companies. When something like this happens, even if they come out, we're so sorry, here's everything back, it was totally a mistake on our end on the machine, it starts to put the seed of doubt in your head, doesn't it? It starts to make you think, is all this random? And even if it's not intentional, let's say we take them on the good graces. Oh, of course it was a bug. The machine messed up. You know, human error. Somebody typed in a 0 when they should have typed in a 1. How many times has that happened in the past and we didn't know about it? And even if it wasn't intentional, how many times have we been screwed up by this before? It's kind of a scary thing to think about. And it's one of the things why trust is so important in these scenarios and why they really need to win back the trust. My thinking behind this, guys, is that if there is anything else to be found, you guys are so smart. And I know the Japanese communities are savage. When they find something like this, they will 1-star rate the app. They will burn it to the ground in order to get what they feel is a respectful response, a respectful amount of compensation, and a fair game. I think that the investigators and our little Bruce Waynes on the Japanese side of War of the Visions, and even in global, are going to start fine-combing all of these banners, fine-combing this RNG element. And if they find any more evidence, it is going to come to light immediately. And for sure on the Japanese side of things, this is where it happened. And I am expecting either A, this thing to blow over. This is how we can kind of, I mean, for me, this is how I can kind of tell, excuse me, in my opinion, in my heart, if this is a big deal for other banners or not. If nothing comes out in the next couple of weeks or the next week or so, hey, you know, this was a problem. This has happened before in FFBE. I don't know if you guys remember with the rates for Regina. The rates were wrong. They had to go fix them. You know, it's happened a few times. Or if this thing's a little bit more sinister, a little bit more scary to think about. But in the end, it is all about trust. They need to build that trust back up with their player base. This has done a detrimental thing to not only them, but to us as well. I wanted to bring it to your attention just in case something's going on our side of things. But again, they did come out with the appropriate response by giving everybody immediately refunds and give everybody a bunch of cool stuff to try to, like, you know, hey, we're so sorry about it. But I think I need a better explanation, and I need to give it time to see how these people, when they research this stuff even more thoroughly, how it's going to turn out. It's a little bit scary, but hopefully, you know, we haven't been getting screwed on either malicious intent or, you know, just random mistakes there on their end for a long time that we didn't even know about. So we have FFBE going on. We got the War of the Vision stuff. This week is already starting out to be fireworks. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. It's very, very important to me to hear what the community's thinking about this. And, you know, I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are, because it is a weird predicament to be in. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. Give me hope that Kingdom Hearts is coming out next week. Subscribe for more FFBE content, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.